Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's release, and it's a card I've called the Ferris wheel card. I think it's really pretty and unusual. So this is one I've already made up to show you the finished article. As usual, I've done 2 boxes to match. I'm going to walk you through how I've made it. As you know, I always like to use up pieces that come from it, and that's exactly what I've done with this particular card. I've cut out the component pieces, but there's also loads of bits that come out in between the files as you're going. So you could actually use those up and create your own toppers with the excess as well. So we're going to walk you through. I used a one-sided card. I needed brown and I didn't have enough. So I've actually put a piece on the front of this, but you could actually use the whole thing. It's in the file, it's in the design. If you wanted to use the full part, you could do. I decided to cut it off because I like the look of the open part at the top. So make sure when you've cut this out that you really burnish those score lines down well so that it'll sit nicely once you come to finishing off. So I've actually stuck the half piece onto the front. So these are the other pieces that are going to be used, and I've cut them in different colours, and I've also used metallics and glitter. So that's the piece that I'm adding on. I've already done the other 3 pieces because they're all done in exactly the same way, just going down in size. Okay, so this is the largest one that I'm yet to do. So this is glitter card going on to the base. You only need to glue just the outside of the Ferris wheel piece out of the frame. So just going round the edge. It's just ordinary PVA glue I'm using again here. But remember that is a fine tip that I'm also using. So all the way around. And then this piece, because I've gone round the piece on the scoreboard, I've got a nice beveled edge to match this up to. I love the beveled edge. It takes a little bit of time and turning and twisting around on your scoreboard, but I find it so worth it. I just love the finish it gives. It reminds me of a die cut machine, which I think is about the one and only thing on a scan and cut machine that it doesn't actually do. So I like to do it on the scoreboard. So there's the piece. Can you see there's the edge all the way around that I've run on the scoreboard, and I've done the same on the edge of the card as well. So now we're ready to put all these pieces together. So hot glue to the rescue. And I'm just going to be adding just a dot to the centre of each of these pieces. And what I'm going to be doing is just offsetting. So an in point will become an outward point, if you know what I mean. So you're offsetting an inside to an outside point. Can you see? So that centre spoke, as it were. Now you can use as many or as few. You could leave it at that and just use the one, or you can continue and use them all. So I'm going to continue and use them all. And again, each layer I'm offsetting. So like this 3rd layer will line up with layer 1, the brown layer. So if you just eye the points and get that centre dot in position, everything will line up. The spokes will line up as well in the centre. Okay, can you see? Everything lines up from that centre and out the way. So when we come to add the 4th point, this will match up point-wise to the orange, which is 2 layers below. It's quite a simple card to do. But like I said, there's lots of bits, but they can all be used. And I'm going to be doing that shortly. Okay, so that's our topper per se done. Just a little centre piece to put in. Again, optional. You can if you wish. or you can leave the spokes open. But I quite like the finish there. So that's ready to be added to the front of the card now. So if you'd put the full piece on at the back, then you would end up with the brown covering up the open at the back. And you're just gluing half of this topper. So I'm just checking which bits and from where I need to glue. So it's just the brown part halfway round. This will be the last little bit. And you're lining up, just checking I've got the right bit. Start. It will line up and fit perfectly because it's the exact same size as the base card piece. Like I said, I've included a complete mat to go on here. And I'm just burnishing down from the wrong side. So there's our easel mechanism in place. And instead of doing the ordinary mat and layer, we've got, like I said, we've got all these little triangular shaped pieces that pop out from your layers. So what I've decided to do, all the metallic and glitter pieces that came out, I decided to reuse them. And I've used 3, there's 5 layers here. I've used 3 of them. And instead of centralising the match, I've just put them over onto one edge. And I really like the effect. Now here, because I'm using a coated cardstock, it's gluing onto a coated cardstock, I'm using the silicone glue. I find that the PVA glue sometimes sticks, sometimes doesn't. So turn to the silicone glue instead. So I'm just doing 4 of these, and again, because I've gone round that edge on the scoreboard, I've got a nice beveled edge to line these pieces up with. So I'm just whizzing through now because I'm just adding 4 exactly the same. So you've still got the same amount again if you wanted to put them onto something else. It's amazing what designs you can actually create with that shape. Just burnishing down from the wrong side. Doesn't that look effective? And on the pink one, I used slightly different sized pieces, just bringing it in now, and you can see the bigger pieces that I've used. Same effect, but a different look. And the 5th one that I've got that's coming in now, I've put it onto foam tape. That actually sits, because there's already a small lip, that card will sit. But I've put a 5th one and I've sat each piece on foam tape. It's only 1mm foam tape between each layer. But just in case it decides to slip, there's something else to catch it there. So I actually have been designing now for about 8 months, and I realised I haven't done a bow. These are the 2 text pieces that I'm including with this design for a special friend and You're a Star. So I'm going to, as I've used one on one, I'll use the You're a Star on this one. So you'll find them all within the file. And it's just deciding where you want to put them. I'm sitting that over the easel stopper. And as I was saying earlier, I've been designing for 8 months and I've never actually used a bow. So I thought, okay, here's my little bow maker. You've probably got one or something similar to this, and I love to use this beaded trim within a bow. So I nearly always do a double bow. So you can, with the pegs in this particular one, you can move them for the size you want, but I always wrap twice around. It goes over the top, underneath, through the back, over the top, and then just pop one end inside the other. I try to keep it straight at this point, and before I pull, just slide the beads inside, and then you can pull that tight. Just keep pulling, get the beads where you want them and just pull it quite tight before you slide it off. And then because it's double, I'm just opening up the 2 bow layers, and I think that makes for quite a cute bow. I'm going to be cutting a little bit of the excess off. I think that tails are just a little bit too long, but I'm going to pop that, I think, into the centre. So I'm just going to trim off some of the excess organza there. Typical me, it's glitter. And I'm just going to ease down the length of the beaded bow piece as well. It's just a little bit too long. Don't worry, that will be reused on another bow. So I'm pulling the little plastic beading to the front, a little dot of hot glue to the back of the bow, and pop onto the front of the card in the centre there. And I think that's rather pretty. If you didn't put the bow on, this is actually, again, it's quite a masculine colour scheme and style. Design wise, I think you can get away if you maybe didn't use the glitter. So there's one box lid, and there's the alternative box lid. Hope you enjoy the design. So that's the Ferris wheel easel card. That's all for now. Until next time, bye for now.